Hi, I'm Unbound Beartic, thanks for checking out this video. This is a critical book review. I review books by giving them a 0 to 10 in 5 categories: plot, writing, characters, themes and entertaining value. From the average of the numbers I give them a 0 to 10 approval rating. 0 to 2 burn it. 2 to 4 donate it. 4 to 6 skim through it. 6 to 8 finish it. 8 to 10 cherish it. In this video I'm going to be reviewing Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. If you don't already know, Clockwork Angel is a 2010 steampunk fantasy novel in Victorian England that's a prequel to the Mortal Instruments series. It features the same narrative as the Mortal Instruments and is the first installment of a trilogy called The Infernal Devices, which had better reception than the Mortal Instruments and Clare's other series such as The Dark Artifices. The titles for chapters are taken from classic 1800s literature and quotes are featured throughout. So let's jump in and I'll review this title. Plot. The plot is set in 1878 and follows a girl named Tessa Gray who travels to Southampton from New York City to meet up with her brother Nate, who works in London. She's kidnapped by demons who force her to learn a mysterious power she has that allows her to shapeshift. They're planning to marry her off to a lord they work for known as the Magister. They're part of an organization called the Pandemonium Club. She's rescued by the London Institute of Shadow Hunters. She meets two of their members, Jem Carstairs and Will Herondale. Tessa meets the Institute's members who reveal that she is actually a downworlder and assume she's a warlock because her power resembles theirs, but she has no supernatural mark. The team discovers that Nate's boss works for a vampire clan leader named Alexei de Quincy, who is assumed to be the Magister. They're also attacked by robotic steampunk monsters called automatons. To learn more about the Magister, the team infiltrates the vampire clan, with Tessa transforming herself into a powerful vampire the team's working with, who is Magnus Bane's lover. Will and Jem disguise themselves as vampire subjugates similar to Renfield from Dracula to infiltrate the party. They discover the vampire leader is killing people in front of the other vampires and Nate is one of their victims. A battle breaks out and the heroes save Nate, although Will accidentally bites Alexei. Will manages to get the vampire blood out of his system so he isn't at risk of becoming a vampire, and a love triangle between Tessa, Will and Jem starts. After an attack by automatons, Jem reveals he's addicted to a demon drug that's slowly killing him. He's dependent on it because a demon killed his parents and drugged him when he was a child. The team leaves Tessa at the Institute with the maids, a stable boy and some other characters such as a shadow hunter named Jessamine. The team hunts down and kills Alexei and the surviving Dark Sister. However, it's revealed that Alexei isn't really the Magister and that it's actually Nate's boss Axel Mortmain. Mortmain attacks the Institute, killing several of its members and stealing a box containing the energies of demons the shadow hunters capture, which he's planning to infuse them into automatons. He tries to get Tessa to join him and marry him and claims he knows who she really is. However, Tessa fakes her death, shape-shifting into a dead body. The characters start to recover, but Will reveals their relationship can't get anywhere because shadow hunters are forbidden to fall in love with downworlders. Then he talks to Magnus Bane for help on the situation. The plot of this book has some positives. The MacGuffin, the Pyxis, is frequently brought up, foreshadowing its use in the end. And the stakes are pretty high as the automatrons are a major threat to the shadow hunter society. Also, the vampires are well integrated into the plot and there's a mystery where the protagonists are trying to uncover who the villain is. The plot is very similar to City of Bones, however, it's a lot better. There are still some flaws though. Some battles with the automatons are sudden and come out of nowhere. Secondly, some of the character deaths are tasteless. Writing. The writing has some positives and negatives. The protagonist has a pretty cool shape-shifting ability that allows her to access memories of people she changes into. This leads to her being exploited and trained with the intentions of being married off to a villain. The Dark Sisters who kidnapped her use her ability to access memories of people they killed. Also, the Pandemonium Club's members could have justifiable motives as they are being oppressed by the Shadow Hunters. Also, while the City of Bones has very little relevance to the plot, this book is titled after the Clockwork Angel, a pendant the protagonist owns, which it's one of her most prized possessions. However, it's not perfect, it honestly feels like reading a rough draft. Axel Mortmain's plan is to destroy the Shadowhunters with an army of automatons, thinking the Shadowhunters won't be able to stop them because they are neither creations of God nor the devil. However, he plans to infuse them with demonic energy which would make them more like demons. Wouldn't that make them vulnerable to angelic power? So honestly, what's the point? Also, it makes no sense that the vampires at the party don't recognize Jem and Will, which are already functional Shadowhunters. However, I do think it's pretty cool to have the protagonist use shape-shifting abilities to disguise herself as a vampire to infiltrate a vampire clan. Characters. First of all, the author didn't just recycle her own plots, she also recycled her own characters. Will is very similar to Jace from City of Bones, who is very similar to Draco Malfoy from Harry Potter. Jem is very similar to Alec Lightwood, which is like Harry Potter. However, Jem is extremely likable and has a tragic backstory. He's also half Asian, which makes the cast more culturally diverse. Tessa, the main protagonist, is extremely similar to Hermione Granger. It appears that the author is giving readers what they want to hear about. A love triangle between Harry, Draco, and Hermione, which all possible ships between these three people are a dream come true of Harry Potter fans. Some of the other characters such as Benedict, Charlotte, Jessamine are kind of forgettable, but they're still important. There are also several other characters with small parts such as Sophia and Thomas. Nate Gray is also a significant character who is actually pretty evil, as after he discovers Tessa isn't his biological sister, she means nothing to him. Themes. The main theme of the trilogy is self-identity, because the protagonist Tessa Gray finds it strange to constantly turn into other people and has trouble questioning her own identity. However, Clockwork Angel doesn't have any philosophical or psychological morals about self-identity. So sadly, it doesn't stand for anything. Entertaining value. The Victorian steampunk setting is pretty interesting and the love triangle is decent, however the romance is few and far between. It has an interesting, gripping story. Unfortunately, there's two issues that I found hard to get past. First of all, the narrative is confusing as it suddenly changes characters due to the third-person narration it's following. It changes between Tessa and the other Shadowhunters while they are pretty far apart, making it difficult to realize which characters have gone where. Also, the descriptions of action are poorly described and confusing. Lastly, let's talk about adaptation potential. The book has been pitched as a potential film or TV series adaptation. However, the TV and movie adaptations of The Mortal Instruments ultimately failed, so I don't know if a series based on the Infernal Devices will ever see the light of day. But it was adapted into a manga graphic novel series. Is it entertaining enough to make a decent film or TV series? Honestly, I think a film would be a better bet, because extending the plot into a TV season would stretch it out pretty far and the writers would have to add lots of new material. Overall, The Clockwork Angel may be different from City of Bones, but it's not exactly better. I give it 4 out of 10 for plot, 2 out of 10 for characters, 1 out of 10 for themes, 3 out of 10 for writing and 4 out of 10 for entertaining value. Overall it gets a 2.8 out of 10. Soulless, poorly written and badly executed, Clockwork Angel is a prequel that fails to impress. I give it an Unbound Beartic approval rating of donated.